Welcome to our YouTube channel on Success and Women. Women helping women.
Come join us.
See you soon. Welcome to this week's episode of Success and Women. I'm Linda.
I'm Andrea.
And today we're going to be talking about let it go. But before we get into what that's all about, Andrea's got her tip of the week.
Well, summer's coming, hopefully. And
I think it might even be here, Andrea.
Well,
that happens very quickly. So
I know, but the weather doesn't really
feel like it.
Feel like it, exactly. Some days yes, and then the next day no.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you're going to be going to the beach, or even if you're going to be in the backyard, and you have a small child, and it's hard to bring them to the beach or just let them play on the grass. So I found this great tip. If you have an old fitted sheet that you're not using, any size, if you want it bigger, you get a queen or a king. You take that to the beach or in your backyard. You open it so that the corners come up, and in each corner you put either your cooler or your towels so that it makes a nice square.
Wow. And
then the child, even yourself, could sit in it, that you don't get all full of sand. And the same with outside. The bugs don't get on them. Some kids don't like the feel of the grass. And I thought to myself, wow, what a great idea.
And what's neat about using the fitted part and having it up, it's almost like you've got this like playpen type of
That's what
thing
it does.
That only a few inches. But, you know, with the flat, everything, all the dirt starts coming all on it.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that a great tip?
That is a great tip. Man, the stuff you can find online, it's amazing.
I know.
And we're here to share that.
Yeah, and I use a lot of the tips.
Yeah.
You know, because I also am always looking for different ways to do things differently. And
well, especially having a young grandson, too, that, you know.
And how to repurpose things.
Yes.
And, yes, I'm always searching it out, so I like to pass that on.
So, looking and searching online, Andrea was actually telling me what she's discovered recently, and it is about letting things go or let things happen, not being a control freak. And I'm not as much of a control freak as Andrea, so she's going to talk more about how that really could impact her in her life, because it is something she's recently discovered. But we're going to talk about that, Andrea, and how does that impact you? And tell me a little bit, and the audience, really, what it was all about, what you did discover.
Well, I was just like you said, going online, looking for different podcasts and whatever, and I came across this woman, and
do you know her?
I can't remember her name, but we'll put it in on the hashtag so that if you want to check it out. And she said that the best thing she ever learned in all her years was a simple saying of, let them. Let them. And I was saying, well, what does that mean? So as she went on, she was saying about how, like myself, I like to control things. Say if I was giving a party or having people over, I want to, control the flow, control where people might want to sit at the table or whatever. So she was saying that her son was at a prom event, and there was about 20 of them, and none of them had made reservations for dinner. So of course she was like right away on the phone trying to figure things out. And then one of the kids said, "Oh, let's just go to say a restaurant like Taco Bell, a fast food restaurant." And the mother was like, "What?" And then her daughter came over and said, "Mom, just let them. What do you care? Let them." And she said it was like an eye-opener. She just said, yeah, just let them. Let them learn on their own. Let them find out what, it was raining outside, so she was worried about their prom dresses and having only standing room only. And then she thought, let them. And it just calmed her right down. And then she had less stress. And I thought to myself, I have done that in the past for certain reasons, but I'm not good at it.
You don't do it often enough.
I don't do it often enough. But then she did say there are 3 basic areas where you really shouldn't just let them. And of course, that's if somebody's trespassing on you, you know, insulting you or demeaning you. That's when you speak up for yourself. You just don't let people do that.
No walking over you?
No walking over me. And
Okay.
that's one thing I'm very good at. I don't let people walk over me. And drinking and driving, of course.
In danger.
In danger.
Yeah.
Any kind of danger, immediate danger. And for the life of me, I can't remember the third one. But if we'll put the hashtag, and if you want to really,
and we'll put her podcast,
put her podcast
channel
there.
On there.
Yes,
because we
that
will
way
find
you can
her.
look it up and reach it. And then I thought to myself, you know, it's so true, because a lot of times, especially the generation now, they're called helicopter moms, and they're always hovering, and they're making sure their kids don't make a mistake or do something wrong. And that is so wrong, because that's how you learn. If a child, you know, how many times you say, no, don't touch that. No. But if you let them and they fall, then they know next time. It resonates more with you when you learned it the hard way.
Right. And you know what's interesting? I remember a situation back, and I don't know if we've talked about it on the show, we may have, but it was when your child is young and I'll say wanting to get dressed for school. And a lot of parents will want their child to be wearing a certain outfit, and especially something very coordinated or whatever.
Right.
But like a lot of people, they have their favorite clothes. And it's like not always the most appropriate.
Right.
But they have to learn, and they have to, you know, make decisions. And
that's how they learn.
That's how they learn.
And it's funny you said that, because when Sarah was very young,
that's her middle daughter.
My middle daughter, she loved to wear fancy dresses every day, and she wanted to wear them to school. And so at one point, I just kind of gave in, because I thought, they wear them for such a short time, and how bad can it be? And so after the first couple of weeks, I got a call from the teacher, and the teacher says to me, do you know, Mrs. Aquila, the children don't have to wear dresses to school. They can wear casual clothes. I said, of course I know this. I said, but she wants to, and I'm just not going to fight with her anymore. Yeah. I said, so don't worry about
if she gets wrecked.
If it gets ruined, if there's paint on it or in the sandbox, don't worry about it. I'll deal with it. She said, oh, okay, thank you very much. And so this went on for at least a couple of years, until it was recess, when they started having recess, and it was cold outside. So then she started switching it up a bit. But yes, so sometimes it's not worth the fight.
No, and you know, the thing is, I was going to say, they also, if you really, really wanted to, you could put a couple of choices and let them pick from that. But they have to learn to make a decision, because when you talked about the helicopter moms and hovering over them, the problem is they haven't even learned to make any decisions.
Right.
So when they get out in the workforce or whatever, it's one of those things where, okay, so yeah, maybe that will work. And then somebody else suggests, well, yeah, maybe that's okay. They don't know how to make a decision.
A definitive decision. Yes. And I think...
And then to back it up.
See, for myself, that's one thing I'm very good at. It's very rare that I can't make a fast decision. And
but you're a control freak.
I'm a control freak, but also I think being the oldest of the six.
Yeah.
My mother left a lot up to me, like, you know, like to watch the kids. I had to always watch. So I had to make decisions. And as I got older, and that matures you quicker also. You know, you're more ready for the world. So when it was time for me to leave at 16, I had no problem. My decision was, I'm going. You know, I felt equipped enough, right? And so you really have to let them. It's like just taking them to McDonald's. Whenever I took the kids to McDonald's, I made them go to the counter and order for themselves. Mm-hmm. I didn't sit there and say, you know, tell me what you want and I'll order it. No, they went up, they ordered, I gave them the cash. I was standing there, you know, to make sure. But they learned very quickly how to make those decisions for themselves, and to do it without fear or, being all shy, and because you have to teach them those things young.
And I think, and I think though, as you get older though, sometimes it's hard. So when you're in a job situation and you're so used to taking control, it's hard sometimes to just say, let them. So you might be the leader of a team and you're working on some project and you're thinking, no, we should do this and this and this. And all of a sudden it's like, you gotta let them go. Let it go and let them do it, because how else are they going to learn whether or not that thing is going to work or not work?
Right.
If you're the one making all the decisions all the time.
And they believe that you don't have faith in them.
And that's the other thing. It's true, because people want to feel part of a team, but it can only be a team if you actually have input from everybody.
Involve everyone.
And it's not like your way or that's it.
I know, we do get caught up in that.
And a lot of people
you always
do.
feel you know better.
Yes.
Now, you obviously can make suggestions to your team, and this is what I think, but right away put it out there. What are your thoughts?
Right.
And how would you do something different? I mean, that's why they do surveys for so many different companies.
I'm actually surveyed to death.
Yes.
Like on everything. It's like, oh, take a 5-minute survey, which takes 20 minutes,
Right.
It drives you crazy, but they want to find out. That's true, except that in life, in the practical and in the moment, you can't always be the one that says, well, I know best and this is the way it's going to be.
Right.
I have another friend actually, and in every situation, she tries to take control. And I mean everything. We were on a trip one time, and on the plane, she's trying to rearrange who should be sitting with who, because we went as a group, and she's telling this person, well, you should change seats with this one, and so that you can sit next to this person, whatever. In this one situation, I remember my friend going, I'm not going back there so I can sit next to, and it was, actually she was going to be sitting next to me, but that's not the point. It wasn't that she didn't want to sit next to me. She had this great seat with the extra leg room that she didn't have to pay for. And she's like, why would I give this up to go sit and be cramped in a spot?
So this one person is creating stress for herself because she's trying to control, and stress for the people who don't want to move. So what was the point? Just take your seat and let them sit where they're supposed to be.
Right. Well, she would do that even on the tour bus. And she would go around and try to rearrange everybody on the tour bus. Oh my God, it drove everybody crazy because she couldn't let people just be.
Yeah.
It had to be her way, or at least she thought it had to be her way. A lot of us, kind of fought her on that and said, no, we're okay where we are.
Yeah, that's
But she'd go around even on the dinner tables and stuff. It was like, always in control.
I'm not like that.
I
That's
actually never
going
met
above and beyond.
I actually never met anybody as controlling as that. But in every situation, she would do that.
Right.
Oh my God. You got to let people just be.
And the thing is, too, you don't know. It's like, say, for instance, you have a circle of friends, and 2 or 3 of them have decided to go away for the weekend.
Oh, yeah?
But they haven't called you. And
that's probably because you're too controlling.
Yeah. So you might get really upset and think, oh, I can't believe they're not inviting me. Let them go. Because you don't know what might happen there. They might have a bad time, or an incident might happen that you, by not going, didn't get involved with. And something great might be happening at home that
you would have missed.
Or you were needed for something. And it's funny because when I thought about it after, during COVID, just after COVID was coming, we were allowed to go out, and we were allowed to have so many people at the hall. A friend of mine, a friend of a friend, but still, her son got married, and I wasn't invited. And at first I was very upset, and I thought, why wasn't I invited? I'm a good friend. But of course it was the numbers. But here's the thing, almost everybody at the wedding came down with COVID.
Wow.
The bride, the groom, the parents, my friends, 2 of them ended up in the hospital for over a month.
You know, that is...
And there you go.
Yeah.
Instead of just letting it, there was a reason I was not invited. And so that's what you got to think about also. Just let it. People are going on vacation. You're not to tag along. Let them.
Yeah.
Something else is up. So we don't know what's in store for them. We don't know what's in store for us. So if you kind of live by that philosophy, you never know what's going to happen, then let it go. Just
let them have fun. Yeah.
And something else might come your way. That's what I say. Like when we used to look for a house or to buy a house, and we didn't get it, we'd be all upset. And then I thought to myself, why? There must be something better. There must be a reason why I didn't get this house. And sure enough, it always worked out that I got something better.
Well, and
so don't stress over it.
Yeah, and it's interesting you were talking about that, because right now, you know, I'm with my sister's a real estate agent, and right now we're looking for a house for her son. And it's interesting because, you know, he's really anxious to, you know, get settled in his own place. And so right now there's like still some properties where they're holding off offers. They're only taking them, you know, on one particular day. And, you know, there's all kinds of stuff. And my sister keeps trying to tell her son, listen, just let it go, because if we don't get it, it's okay. Something better is going to be around the corner. And there's a lot more listings coming up all the time. Right. So there's a reason. If you don't get it, there's a reason.
Yeah.
And you don't want to push and force things on to make it happen, because in the end, I don't think you'd be happy.
No.
You know?
And it causes you undue stress. And like you said, there's tons of houses on the market. There's tons of fish in the sea, as they say. You know, one relationship doesn't work out. Let it go. Let it go. Next. There's a reason.
Yeah. And I was going to say, that would even apply, ladies, when you're applying for a job. Okay. Yes. And you don't get it. Just go walk away and say, let them give it to somebody else. Yes. That's fine, because something better is going to be in store for you. Exactly. You just have to be patient. And sometimes that's how we're tested, is the patience we have.
Patience, yes.
Because I've heard of stories where, you know, somebody that was, I'm going to say, less qualified got the job. But in the end, the person who didn't get it, that thought they deserved it, got the job above that person.
Wow.
And became the boss.
Wow.
And so, you know what? You don't know.
You don't know. And, you know, the famous thing that I remember when was it the Challenger that blew up that had the first
female? I think she was a teacher, right?
She was a teacher.
Yes.
And the man that didn't get it over her, he felt he was way more qualified and was so upset. And he didn't even want to watch the launch. He didn't want nothing. He didn't want no one talking to him about it. And his family had gathered that day to watch it. And he was sulking in the basement doing something or whatever. And all of a sudden he heard everybody screaming. And he ran upstairs. And they said, oh my God, this Challenger just blew up. Everybody's gone. They said he literally got down and kissed the floor, the ground. Wow. And said, thank you, Lord. See? So we don't know. Yeah. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Because there's always a reason.
Yeah. And you don't want to be harboring, you know, ill will feelings about anything, because like Andrea said, you don't know the reason, and it might not show itself for quite a while.
Right.
But the fact is, don't stress about it.
Yeah.
It really isn't worth it. You have a life to live. You're going to keep moving forward, and just let things happen the way that they're meant to play out.
To happen, yeah. Yep. I feel if anything is forced, it's not for you.
That's true. It absolutely is true. Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah. That's a good way to end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember that. Let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Let them. Just let them.
And we will give you all of that information on the hashtag, but we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Success in Women. And it's women helping women. Don't forget. So you need to
like,
share,
and please subscribe.
Yeah. I'm Linda.
And I'm Andrea.
Until next week.
See you. Bye, ladies.